You're walking home at night. The street is quiet. Too quiet. Then, you hear footsteps behind you. Your heart explodes into your chest. Your mind screams run, but your body doesn't move. For a split second, you become completely still. Not because you chose to, because something older than fear made the decision first. It feels like a mistake, like your brain failed you at the exact moment you needed it most. But what if that strange pause wasn't a flaw? What if it was one of humanity's oldest survival tricks? To understand why your body sometimes refuses to run, we have to go back to a world where moving at the wrong moment could get you killed. Imagine standing in a forest hundreds of thousands of years ago. No cities, no flashlights, no emergency services. Just endless trees and something watching from the darkness. Most people imagine our ancestors survived by being brave, running, fighting, escaping danger with incredible speed. But that's only part of the story. Because predators don't just hunt movement. Many of them hunt because of movement. A single twitch of a branch, one sudden sprint, one careless step, and you've announced exactly where you are. Suddenly, staying perfectly still doesn't sound so foolish. It sounds like camouflage.
Today, biologists call this the freeze response. It's one part of the body's automatic survival system, alongside fight and flight. Research in neuroscience has shown that before your conscious brain fully understands a threat, older brain circuits are already preparing your body for survival. But here's the mystery. If running can save your life, why would evolution ever reward doing absolutely nothing? The answer becomes clearer when you look at the rest of the animal kingdom. A rabbit spotted by a fox doesn't always bolt immediately. A deer sometimes freezes before exploding into motion. Even tiny insects suddenly become motionless when danger appears. At first glance, it looks like panic. In reality, it's often calculation, performed without conscious thought. Many predators detect movement far more easily than still shapes. Big cats rely heavily on motion. Some snakes strike when something moves into range. Even certain birds lock onto movement before recognizing a target. If remaining still buys even a few extra seconds, those seconds can become the difference between living long enough to have children or disappearing from the gene pool forever.
Generation after generation, natural selection quietly rewarded nervous systems that knew when not to move. But evolution rarely solves just one problem. It creates another. Because the same ancient survival system still lives inside us, only the world around it has completely changed. Now imagine hearing tires screech, or suddenly slipping near the edge of a staircase, or unexpectedly seeing someone step into your path. Many people later ask themselves the same painful question: why didn't I react? The uncomfortable answer is that your brain did react, just not in the way you expected. Deep inside your brain, the amygdala rapidly evaluates potential danger, while nearby survival circuits can begin preparing your body before the thinking parts of your brain fully catch up. Researchers, including neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux, have spent decades studying these fast defensive pathways, showing that survival often begins before conscious awareness. In other words, your oldest instincts don't wait for permission. They act first.
Thinking comes second, but freezing isn't simply standing still. Inside your body, an invisible storm begins. Your heart rate changes, your muscles tighten, your breathing shifts, your senses become intensely focused. Time itself can seem to slow down. Many people describe traumatic moments as happening in slow motion, not because time changed, because their brain temporarily devoted nearly all of its resources to survival. It's preparing for whatever comes next. Fight, run, or remain invisible. And sometimes the safest option changes in an instant. A frozen deer can suddenly sprint with astonishing speed. A motionless rabbit can explode across a field before a predator fully reacts. Freezing isn't the end of the survival sequence. It's often the beginning.
Humans inherited that same ancient operating system. The only difference is that today's predators are often very different from the ones evolution prepared us for. A frightening phone call, a near car accident, a loud crash in the middle of the night. Your body doesn't always distinguish between physical danger and overwhelming uncertainty. It simply reaches into an ancient toolbox that kept your ancestors alive. But here's something even stranger. The freeze response isn't only about avoiding predators. It also helps gather information. By becoming still, your senses sharpen. You hear more, you notice tiny movements, you search for clues before committing to an action. Sometimes the smartest move isn't the fastest one, it's the most informed one. This is why military training, emergency drills, and repeated practice matter so much.
Experience teaches the brain to move through that ancient pause more efficiently, not by removing millions of years of evolution, but by working with it. The instinct never truly disappears, it simply becomes easier to guide, which means that mysterious moment of freezing isn't proof that you're weak, it's proof that your brain is incredibly old. Older than language, older than civilization, older than almost everything you associate with being human. It was written during an age when a single unnecessary movement could mean becoming someone else's dinner.
And despite thousands of generations of progress, that ancient survival code is still quietly running in the background. Every time your heart races, every time the world suddenly goes silent, every time your body pauses before you even know why. The next time you wonder why you froze instead of running, remember this: your body wasn't forgetting how to survive, it was remembering. Long before humans built cities, invented weapons, or lit the darkness with electricity, survival sometimes depended on doing the one thing that feels impossible in a moment of fear: absolutely nothing.